I'm going to hold up some books. The Force Awakens by Alan Dean Foster. Not expanded. The Last Jedi by Jason Fry. Expanded edition. Significantly bigger. Significantly bigger. The Rise of Skywalker by Ray Carson. Expanded edition. No? I don't think this is expanded at all. In fact, might be even a little smaller than the non-expanded Force Awakens. So, with that out of the way, let's get into The Rise of Skywalker by Ray Carson. It's the movie. Not a lot's added. We'll talk about the things that are added, and as always with a movie novelization review, I don't really want to go over the movie because I'd just be reviewing the movie. So we're going to talk about things that are different. More with Leia and Luke when Leia's training. We have more flashbacks to that. Leia does a flying no handstand. That's stupid. Also, she talks to Obi-Wan and Yoda. That's stupid. We get a tiny bit more of Poe's backstory. Honestly, I've only seen Rise of Skywalker once. It could have been the same backstory, and I was just so horribly embarrassed by watching that piece of garbage that I forgot it. But we find out what the planets they're on are called a lot of the time. Like, I didn't know Kylo Ren was on Mustafar at the beginning of the movie. We find out that Palpatine's officially a clone in this. So they fully went and ripped off Dark Empire. You know, the thing that all the new canon fans were like, that's stupid in Legends. Literally is in Rise of Skywalker. Thanks, Disney. It's just garbage. So I made a mistake when reviewing Resistance Reborn. I said that was a combination of Timothy Zahn's Spectre of the Past and Visions of the Future. Resistance Reborn is Spectres of the Past, and this is Visions of the Future, and I'll explain. This is the end of an awful, awful era in Star Wars. These sequel trilogy movies, they're just horrendous. It's such a bad time for Star Wars, and it's coming sort of to an end here. With the release of things like The Mandalorian, we're going into a different era. Whether that era is good or bad remains to be seen overall. But with this piece of garbage, it defines the era. Like Visions of the Future ended the Bantam era, essentially. Granted, there were, like I said in my previous review, there were other books that came out after Visions of the Future. But Visions of the Future just feels like an end. Where this feels like an end too. But where Visions of the Future, you're like, wow, I'm going to really miss the Bantam era. This, you're like, thank God it's over. Because it's so mediocre and garbage. And I don't know if it's Ray Carson's fault, because I read Most Wanted, her YA Star Wars book, the only other one she'd written, and that wasn't bad. But this is pretty bad. It's called Expanded Edition, and it doesn't really expand on anything. It's just a sloppy mess, and like the movie. So I guess it's a good movie novelization in that regard, because that movie is just awful, and it represents how awful and sloppy that movie is. That being said, I give it a 1.5 out of 5. It's bad. It's really, really bad, and I don't think people should read it. Join me next time as we take a break from Star Wars and start tackling some alien books.